What is up, citizens of Gotham? Welcome to the Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood. We are going to bring Dave Anthony from the Dollop on the show here in just a second. Please hit the like button, share it out. We're streaming live on StallinTube, which is still demonetized us, Facebook Live, and of course, Rockfin. If you want to ask questions and support the show, you got to go to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. The link is in that scroll below, because YouTube has demonetized us. They demonetized us February 1st. On March 3rd, I was granted the privilege of clicking a review request button, thanks to our overlords and CIA benefactors at Google. And they said, we will review it and have a result, an answer for you in about a month. So a minimum of 2 months of me not making any money on YouTube. They could suck it. We're making money on Rockfin. Of a fantastic vegan smoothie, unsweetened organic almond milk, an organic fruit blend. I want to say mango, strawberry, blueberry, and then frozen like greens, and then protein powder and peanut butter and all that. So that's what we're doing. Hello, Cat B. Hello, everybody in the chat. Please hit the like button and share this out on your social media. All those things help. Even if you're watching on Rockfin, please hit the like button. All those little things help the show. And if you do any of the tips on Rockfin, I will answer those after talking with Dave. We're going to talk about what it's like with opening schools. He's having to deal with that, so we're going to get sort of an inside look on this insane country that loves doing things in the dumbest way possible, right? Mm-hmm. God damn, that's a good smoothie. Also, all my interviews with Justin Jackson are starting to drop on YouTube and Rockfin. Here's what we're doing, everybody. Because of YouTube demonetizing us, I'm only dropping like 1 clip a day on YouTube and 2 to 3 clips a day on Rockfin. So all of my clips are on Rockfin and they're free. It's free to sign up. And then if you do the premium on Rockfin, you get bonus content, early access to stuff. Graham Goes to Russia documentary is there. And also you can support the show on Patreon. So let's bring Dave Anthony over here. Graham, I hope you got the JFK book I sent. I have not gotten that yet, but I will check. Been a little crazy right now because the place I'm living in, they're putting it up for sale. So all these contractors and people and inspection, all this, and I just, I'm sort of at the mercy of that. So it's sort of screwed. I was literally about ready to go live, and then there was a knock on my door. Hey, can you? So there's always this shit happening. All right, let's bring Dave Anthony on the program. Dave, are you there?
That JFK book is great because it turns out he committed suicide. Just read it. Just trust me on this. It was a suicide.
Well, according to Google, Lee Harvey Oswald did it. That's a verifiable fact. So
yep, it's probably on Snopes also.
The most controversial assassination of the last 100 years. Well, it's a matter of fact. Thanks to everybody at Google, and done deal.
Yeah. I was just watching a soccer game while I was waiting for you to acknowledge me, and a guy scored a goal so good that the goalkeeper shook his hands. He's like, that was that was tremendous.
I got to give it up to you. That's an amazing. Well, that's good sportsmanship. That's what you should do. When someone just betters you that much, you should just go own it. Yeah,
100%.
That was fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood. I am joined by the host of the Dollop podcast and also a recent winner of the Political Vigilante game show in a heated contest against Gareth. Or no, did you lose?
I won.
You won. That's right. Gareth.
I would not lose to Gareth. Come on. He had a little lead at the beginning because I was letting him fuck around, and then I just took him down so hard.
That's so great that you punished him. on a live stream. Yeah, that's right. You won handily 10-6. Gareth had nothing in the late rounds. He couldn't even come back at all. And he didn't even understand the strategy of like, you're losing, so you just need to raise your hand first and throw out something to have a chance.
That's right.
And he didn't even know how to do that.
No, he's a dummy. By the way, this is vegan. It's water.
Oh, vegan water. I love when they put that on. Yeah. It's gluten-free. Oh, really? There's no wheat gluten in water? Wow, thanks. I had no idea. Well, Dave, we wanted to bring you on the show. First of all, just to celebrate everything that's so great. If you're a progressive lefty socialist, everything is going our way. And
it's so great to tell everybody what's going to happen, and then it happens, and then they just yell at you for saying it was going to happen.
Yeah. Wasn't it great a year ago is when Bernie bailed? Wasn't that great to celebrate that? This is our last hope.
He dropped out like someone had a gun to Jane's head.
Yeah. I mean, literally, the rumors are they threatened there's some scandal against her and they were going to prosecute her and put her in jail, which I wouldn't be, because the way he dropped so hard, I'm like, and he wasn't perfect. We all knew this. He was just the furthest left of any mainstream candidate that had a legitimate shot. Yeah. He dropped so hard. I was like, I literally was like, did they threaten his grandkids? I wasn't joking. I'm like, seriously, did they go that old Bill Hicks joke of like, the president gets elected and they show them the real Zapruder film and they're like, any questions?
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
that's how it seemed. Yeah.
Like Bobby Kennedy thought he had a shot too. Yep. So
I don't know how that turned out. I don't read history.
I think he just dropped out. I think he just said, I'm out of politics. I'm a Kennedy. Politics really isn't our thing.
They don't care.
They don't care. So it's been a fantastic year. And we are now thank God, the one thing that Biden is doing well is rolling out the vaccines. He said he was going to do that. Yeah. Okay, I'll give him credit. He's getting a lot of people vaccinated. It's
literally the only reason I said to vote for him. Like, I know that he's going to create a more fascist state, but he's also going to get the vaccine out. That was always the thing. He was always going to have a better response to the fucking bullshit that Trump was trying to make money off of. And, Trump, when he ran out of storage, which his companies were taking care of for the virus, like he was funneling the storage money to himself. That's why all of a sudden they stopped, because he's like, well, who else is going to do it? I don't want someone else to make money. I mean, that's why he didn't order enough vaccines. He's just a fuckhead. So, like, yeah, everything's going to get worse under Biden. We're still on the same track, just going straight to fascism. But right now, there would be 700,000 dead people and no end in sight if Trump was still in office. I mean, it would just be crazy.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And literally, and we said this last spring and summer, we're like, if Trump, when the virus first happened, I'm like, if he handles the virus correctly, he won't lose. I mean, if he would have said, here's stimulus money, it's really, hold on, I'm getting it. Scroll still says show starting soon. Oh, let me change this real quick. No, but that's absolutely, had he handled it correctly, had he given everybody UBI and Medicare for all, it would have been like, he's not going to lose.
They would have been changing the laws to make him a third-term president right now. Like, he would have never been out of office. If he had just said, lockdown, this is really serious, let's get all the tests in shape, let's get everyone ready for this, he would be an emperor right now. Like, he would have slaughtered the Democrats.
Yes. And but he bungled it. And that's the main reason people voted for Biden. It was like, nobody was excited about Joe Biden. Nobody was like, yeah.
Well,
they were just like, now. Yeah. Oh, God. Well, before we get into the greatest rescue of poverty ever lie that this bill, okay, really? Before we get into that, and we'll break that down a little later, I wanted to talk to you because you live in LA and you are dealing with, like a lot of parents are, schools opening. And the insanity that is going on with that, and I understand. I mean, I don't have any kids of my own, but I understand, like, oh my God, my kids have been homeschooling for the last year. Everybody's cabin fever, crazy sick. But like, because we're seeing a little light at the end of the tunnel with the vaccines, and it's like initially Biden said July, now it's June, maybe even May. And I believe him because I see how quickly they're rolling this out, but they're opening up way too soon in so many other ways. And our stupid two-party system makes one party, in this instance, the Republicans, going, we're going to stick it to Biden by opening early. No, you're going to ruin the lives of your citizens in Texas, but go for it. I mean, they already, they just went through a crisis of having the grid go down. But,
Democrats are opening up early also because Biden made the 100, we got to get kids back in school in like 100 days or whatever it was. And then, the thing people aren't talking about is the testing companies are lobbying for this because standardized testing happens in April, and they want those kids in the fucking schools because you can't test at home. That's not testing. So they want the fucking kids in school. And so a lot of this is a push by Pearson and these other goddamn companies, which the testing is just already shouldn't be happening. I mean, it's just fucking garbage. The teachers can't look at the tests. If they look at a test, they get fired. The kids never know what their scores were. The teachers don't know what the scores. It's just fucking nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. And so they're pushing to make those tests happen because they want kids in school to do that.
I didn't know that, but it's typical of this dumb country. It maddens me and then goes, oh, well, that makes sense. They're doing another dumb thing because capitalism to the rescue to ruin everything. Like, we're not doing, God, we have no society. We have no, like, what's for the greater good. It's just, hey man, Pearson needs to make their money. So jam these kids and teachers back in school and let's do it. So, damn it. It's so frustrating, but like, kind of watching, like I said, I don't have kids, but LA Unified School District is a massive school district. Yeah. And I'm watching them on the local news, that the head of that LAUSD talk about how they want to do this. And some of the teachers, it's kind of some teachers and some teachers union said, I'm not going back until I get vaccinated. Yeah. Which I get.
It's also, it's a fucking month away. What are you fucking rushing? They've been out for a fucking year. Now, all of a sudden, a month away, you're going to let them get vaccinated.
Right.
It's just around the fucking, what are you rushing for? Oh,
I know.
There's testing. It's the only thing I can think of is testing.
It's crazy because, like, it's just a month. Just wait. What, like you said, we've all been here a year. What's another month? Like, what's another 60 days? I mean, literally, like, I feel like a convict, a long-term convict. That's like, I can do 60 days standing on my head. I can do this dumb pandemic for another 60 days. I know how to do this. Like, boo-hoo. I'll wear my mask and stay inside and talk to myself in the dark. I mean, what the fuck else am I going to do? Like, so
there's this whole narrative that's been formed, which is that all these kids are having mental health issues because they're home. Well, are they having mental health issues because they're home? Or are they having mental health issues because their uncle died, or their fucking mom died, or because they're watching society send their parents to shitty fucking jobs with no protection? Maybe that's affecting their mental health. Maybe looking at the news and seeing 500,000 dead is affecting their fucking mental health. And it's not about being on a computer during the day, which is what they fucking do all the time anyway. Like, there are also, if you talk to other parents, there are kids that are thriving online because they didn't like school. They didn't like getting up at 7 a.m. because they have this thing called zero period now, where some kids have to get up at 7 a.m. and go to fucking school. Now they can sleep into 8:30, like the science says they're supposed to do. Kids are not, you hit 11, 12, you're not supposed to get up early. Your body doesn't want it anymore. So there are kids adjusting to this and they're thriving, and you're not hearing that at all. But there's a ton of them. I read about them. I'm in a parents group. I read about them all the time. Kids that were getting bullied, kids that didn't fit in. They're all doing better. All of them. And so this narrative is all the kids are having mental health problems. And it's like, what about those fucking kids at East LA where just death is just fucking rampant?
Right.
It's like one of every 400 have died. Like, it's fucking crazy. They're having mental health problems because there's death everywhere, and the society isn't doing anything. It's not because they're on fucking line during the day. And so that's the narrative that's out there, because that was pushed by right wingers. And so the Democrats did not fight it. They just went, yeah, okay.
What?
Yeah.
The Democrats didn't fight back? I mean, is that the first time?
It's really amazing.
Well, yeah, there's so many good. I didn't even think about any of those things, but those are such great points, especially like in these hard hit communities like East LA, which is primarily Black and Latino. That community, not only one of the reasons they're being hit so hard is there's a lot of working class people in those communities that they don't have they don't have a nice job. They can just Zoom in from home. They got to get on a bus and go to work and deliver stuff and flip burgers and whatever and clean houses and all that frontline worker stuff that we're all celebrating. Well, they had to they've been going to work this whole year. They've been having to wear masks, and then that's why they get hit the hardest. And then also too, you bring up great points. Why the mental health thing? A lot of those families, they have multi-generational homes. So what? The grandpa and grandma died in their living room or whatever. Or they went to the hospital and they were there for 3 weeks and they never got to see them. And then they just got the call, their dad's dead. Whatever. And their dad died because he had to go to one of these jobs.
Yeah, we have a house cleaner, and when COVID hit, I told her, you're staying home. I'm giving you a raise. I'm paying you every week, and you're staying home until we're safe. And I hope all your the other people you work for do the same thing. And so I would just give her money every week, and she stayed home, and this went on for months. And then in November, she got it because she had to go clean fucking people's houses. But they don't have health insurance. And she's not here legally. So her whole family got it. And since they don't have health insurance and they can't afford to go to the doctor, they use this old tea mix that has been going around in Mexico for years to clear you out. And that's their health care. That's it. An old mix of tea that clears out your lungs. And she said it totally works. She's like, it's actually amazing. It does work. But one of them could have died because she lives with her father-in-law and her husband. And that's what they're dealing with. And so if you're a kid, she has I think 11-year-old kid. If you're an 11-year-old kid, are you more stressed because you're online at school or because your mom is going to a job that could kill her?
Right.
Where's your mental health in that situation? Is it because you're learning math on a computer? No. It's because you're fucking worried your mom's going to fucking die.
Right.
And the fact that narrative is out there is just, it's fucking mind boggling. It's like just letting the right wing run away with this fucking nonsense. And the other reason they do it is because a lot of Democrats want charter schools. They're in the charter school pockets. And this can destroy public schools completely. 100% destroy them. That's the end game. Take them out. Make them all privatized, make them all charters. And so that's why the Democrats really aren't sticking up for it. I mean, some of them are in the union pockets and the other ones are in the charter pockets, and a big fucking split down the middle. It's really fucked.
So, and that's just heartbreaking. And these are also such great points. And so, yeah, it's the other thing too, is they've done studies, this is well before COVID, that only 30% of kids like this going to classroom, old learning model that really was designed to just train you to be a shift worker in a factory. I mean, that's literally what it was for, right? I mean,
they've changed it around now. If you looked at how it all works, I helped my kid with this math homework because I was a math tutor, but the math is just garbage now. It used to be you would solve a problem and then you'd be like, oh, I figured out how to solve that problem, or I didn't, but there's an end game. You try to solve the problem. Now they're like, can you write this equation in 4 different ways? And you're like, what the fuck is that? What are you taking away from writing an equation 4 different ways? Oh, you know what you're taking away? When you're working on an iPhone and you're trying to figure out a bunch of different ways to do something, that's what you're taking away. They're making them business-minded little fucks. That's not analytical. It's just figuring out different ways to do shit so you can go and work in your white-collar job in an office and figure out a bunch of different ways to do shit. It's fucking crazy. And that's Bill Gates. Bill Gates pushed all that shit into the schools. This is all his fucking bullshit. This is his plan. God. But he's been... It's amazing to watch. It's all it's just fucked. I mean, the whole system is fucked. And we're
What do
such
you
big supporters of public schools, but we're also talking about pulling them out. Like it's just really fucked.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big supporter of public schools. I went through public school. I mean, I think, and that used to be like the backbone of America, was like you got free public school. Like that was such a new concept. A lot of countries you had to pay for school. We get free, like K through 12, it's free. And now it's just eviscerated. And of course, anytime they're like, well, privatization will make it better. No, it'll only make it better for the 1%. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
Privatization has never helped working class people ever.
No. Yeah. All the studies on charter schools that have come out, they're bad. They have not helped anybody. They're making things worse. Every study is just like, no, it's not working.
And so what are you seeing now? As a parent, you have an 11-year-old son who's been, going to school at home the last year. What is happening in the specific school district that you're dealing with, and what are you seeing?
So I'm in Glendale United. We're sort of I live up on the hill, and Glendale's down in the valley, and there's a big split. There's a lot of there's a big Armenian community, and the Armenian community in Glendale is split. Like there's sort of a new immigrant wave that came in, and they don't see head to head with the older, more long-term Armenians here. And there's a bunch of Trumpers, particularly amongst the newer immigrants, tons of Trumpers. And so they don't believe in the virus, and they hate the unions. And so we've got that dynamic. And I think that dynamic is playing out everywhere. That's what I've been reading. It seems like to be pretty normal. So the school board is mostly Armenian, and they seem to listen more to the Armenians down in the valley, which is this is just shit. This is how it goes. Like, this is just fucking life. Like you're part of a community, but there's a voice that gets a bigger response, and it's weird, but it is what it is. So a lot of them are, particularly at certain schools, are just super against COVID. They just don't fucking believe in it. And we've got 2 or 3 people on the school board that seems like they don't believe in it on the school board. And so there's this weird, it's a very weird dynamic here with all these different factions coming out against each other. But what happened was everything was going fine. Like everyone's online, going to school, and teachers work harder in this way they're teaching. It's harder for them than it is to go to a classroom. They have 26, 30 kids on a screen as opposed to just having them in a room. It's much more difficult for them. Mm-hmm. They're working harder, and these parents are yelling at them. And then we had a school board meeting. I didn't know about it. Well, the Trump people and the open school people just went fucking apeshit against the unions at this meeting. Just person after person saying how fucking lazy the unions are, how shitty the teachers are. Like it was like a fucking lynching for 45 minutes. And nobody who, like me, I didn't think we were going back to school this year. And so that sort of turned the tide. And right around this time also, Newsom was trying to get schools opened up again. For some reason, Democrats have just decided schools need to be open, and not 5 days a week. It's this hybrid plan. So you go 2 days a week or 1 day a week, and half the kids are still at home and they're teaching in the classroom at the same time, which makes it super complicated because teachers don't know how to do that. I mean, could you imagine doing a stand-up show for people in a room and then online also? It's just what is that? And they have to interact with them. And so the teachers all over the country have started to do this, and they're saying, this can't be done. We don't know how to do this. So Newsom is pushing for that. There's a little bit of pushback from teachers unions, and we're in LA County. So we have to follow the LA County health rules, the health department rules, but we're not in LAUSD. So we don't have to follow the big union and all that stuff that's going on there. So after this meeting with all this screaming, we get an email from the superintendent, and it says, we're coming back to school on March 23rd, the day after spring break. Very smart. Very smart. Because when people take holidays and stuff, there's no increase in COVID spread. Like that's never happened.
No, there's no pattern of it the last 12 months. We're good.
And the email says, we're opening up. You have to choose right within 4 days whether your kid comes back to school. And if you say no, your kid cannot come back to school for the rest of the year, no matter what happens. So even if everyone's like magically everyone's vaccinated, all the teachers are vaccinated, like if some miracle happens, we can't. So we have to make a choice. And on top of that, there's no explanation of how they're going to set up the schools. There's no safety explanation. There's nothing. It's just make a fucking decision and fuck off. And so everybody flips out. Everybody completely fucking flips out. And they're like, what in the fuck is this? People are like, how do I even respond to this? I don't even know. You're not giving me any information. And the school is just like, we're opening up. That's it. We're fucking opening. And everyone has no idea what's happening. Newsom's trying to push his bill through the legislature, and the legislature is like, no. But then there's all these Democrats and right wingers who are like, we need open schools now. The kids have mental health problems. And it just goes on like this for like a couple of weeks. Everyone's yelling at each other. The community now is torn apart. People want to fucking kill each other. Because now it's gone from just being like, okay, we're in this place, we're all trying to work through it, to like now everyone's opposed to each other. Now we have all these people want to go back and just put their kids in school, and people who don't. And I've talked to principals, a couple of principals, and they're like, you know what, the kids, because we have these things called pods, which is basically daycare. Mm-hmm. And that's needed for people who have to go to work. You have to put your kid in a fucking pod if you have to work. And so the pods, they say, are working fine. But then, and the parents who are screaming, we need to get our kids in school. I talked to the principals, and they're like, that kid has never done well. That kid is a problem because of the parents, not because they're not at school. It's because that kid's always been a problem. So the parents who are the loudest about getting their kids in, if you go talk to principals and teachers, they're like, yeah, that kid's, it's a fucking nightmare. So it's really what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a family dynamic, and all these people don't want to be around their kids or can't handle it or whatever the fucking situation is. So then they start putting out all this propaganda. And the propaganda is, you see it, you'll see it in the media. It especially came out this week with some distancing stuff, but they start saying it's completely safe. All the studies say it's safe, that kids can go back to school if they wear masks and the rooms are ventilated, and that's it. Just wear masks and the rooms are ventilated. And so a bunch of us are talking. We're like, this doesn't make any sense. And then you read all the studies that they're alluding to. Well, they're not testing any asymptomatic kids at all. All of these tests where they say it doesn't spread in school. A kid came in with COVID. They found him, and then they quarantined everybody, and no one else had it. Well, how do you know they didn't have it? Kids have a huge asymptomatic rate. They're asymptomatic and they spread it. But if they don't have symptoms and you don't test them, then how do you know it's not? How do you say it's not spreading?
Right.
It's a total catch-22. And so they just keep saying it's not spreading in schools, and we go, who's testing the asymptomatic kids? And then no one responds. I've asked that question to 50 scientists who have said open schools. I've asked it to a doctor who came on and gave us a lecture. I just said, how do you, and just ignored. They all ignore it. They act like you didn't ask the question. I have not gotten that answer once. I always say, if the kids are asymptomatic when they get it, and you're not testing asymptomatic kids, how do you know it's not spreading? And they ignore me.
God.
And they did one study. It came Cobb County, Georgia, and it was at the end of February, and they tested all the asymptomatic kids, and it spread. And they found out in those kids' homes, 26% of the people who live with the kids had COVID, because they don't show symptoms, and then they go into your house. And so what happens is then they take that data, if they're not testing asymptomatic kids, they take that data and they go, well, there was spread in the community, but it can't be traced to the school. So if a house has COVID and a kid goes to a school and they didn't test the kid who's asymptomatic, then they just go, well, that had nothing to do with the school.
What?
And they do one fucking study and they find out that a bunch of people got it. Yes, the whole school thing is fucking bullshit. They're not testing asymptomatic kids. They cannot say that it is not spreading. It's fucking insane. Most kids are asymptomatic. So we have another board meeting in which everyone's now mad because we had to choose whether or not to send our kid to school, right? I said, no, we're not sending our kid to school. They said 60% of people did, but then they're like, only 75% of people responded. So then you're like 60% of 75. So it's more like 40% or so, 45% who said, yes, they're sending their kid to school. Right. So it sounds like 45% of people are sending their kids to school. We have another board meeting, and this time all of us show up and yell at them, and they don't give a shit. There's a guy on the board. He's the guy that I had to yell at once to put a mask on his face. I yelled at him during a Zoom meeting early on in like May or something. I screamed down and put your fucking mask on. Like, he just starts talking. He says, my father went and served, and he fought in a war. And my father fought in a war for 2 years. And if my father can do that, then teachers need to go back to school. And
what?
Right. So now we're comparing teachers to fucking people in Vietnam. Like, what in the fuck? What kind of fucking country is this? Like, how does that motherfucker get to sit on a goddamn school board and say this shit? And then we find out that guy is telling all the parents to attack the union on the school board. When parents contact him, he says, well, you need to go after the union because they're the ones stopping us from getting back into school the way we want, because the union's fighting it. The union's like, this can't happen. We need to be vaccinated. We need to have all this stuff in place. There needs to be testing. And they're just like, no, we're going to do what we want. And they can do that because then Newsom passed his bill, and in it says you can ignore the unions. Completely ignore the unions if you want. You can go back to school. Fuck the unions. But the problem is that you can't ignore unions because they can just go on strike,
which they've done in some certain cities. There's some cities and teachers are like, no, we're not doing this.
At Chicago and I don't know how LAUSD is voted, but yeah, no, there's places that are like, no, we're not going back to fucking school, and they shouldn't. And now everyone's getting mad at the teachers unions because they're like, well, that's the reason our kid's not in school. And there's shit like, so I've been doing deep dives into this, and there's a whole new thing, MERV 13 filters, which is like the most powerful filter you can have in your air conditioning system or whatever it is. And it circulates the air the fastest. And that's what you really need in a classroom. It's just air circulating and switched 5 times per hour so that it's just constantly moving. And I start looking into, I go, what is this MERV thing? And I research it. And you know why that's happening? A fucking union. The San Francisco Structural Engineers Union, who works in schools, was listening to the debate, and they said, look, guys, I've been working with air conditioning and HVAC units for years. MERV 13 is the solution you want. That's the filter you want. And then it got through, and it filtered to the school district, and the school district told people who work in the government, and that was part of the official rules because of a fucking union. Because the unions are the things that are keeping people safe. They're the only ones fighting for safety. The school board is not doing it. They're just like, what's the least we can fucking do? It's the only people fighting for safety, and not just for teachers, for staff, for students. It's only the unions. The school boards don't give a shit. And the latest thing, which came out a couple of days ago, was all of a sudden, oh, there's a new study. And it says that you don't have to be 6 feet apart in schools. Kids can be 3 feet apart. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Fauci has recently said we should put on 2 masks. We should be wearing 2 masks. And now you're telling me they should be 3 feet apart. Do you see how that doesn't really fit together? And then you do a deep dive on that. Well, it's not a study. It was just a policy somewhere. a policy in which they didn't test asymptomatic kids. And now if you go on the news and you Google it, it's like, hey, we can do it. Because you know why? Because they don't want to spend money on schools, which they need to spend billions of dollars. They did before the pandemic. It was already shit. They don't want to fucking spend money. So they're fitting the science around the actual physical locations. That's all they're doing. They're getting ready for the fall to push all these kids back into schools by saying it's just fine to do 3 feet. And there's no scientific basis for it whatsoever. But they're all talking about it. If you go online and Google it, everyone's like, yeah, we can do 3 feet now. If I was fucking governor, you know how all these businesses have got out of fucking business, these big box stores? Well, they're just sitting vacant. Take them over and turn them into fucking schools on a temporary basis. There's a shitload of empty buildings. Just put kids in them and fucking hire new teachers to stand. And so they're all super. I mean, if you want to put them back in school, that's what you fucking do. But they're not. They're doing the opposite. They're gearing the science around the buildings because they don't want to tax the rich and put all that money into making our kids safe. They're just going to send them to fucking die. And I'm sorry, but Germany, they're closing down schools left and fucking right because kids are coming down with it because of the new variants. Kindergartens are being overrun. Austria, Italy, you just go read about it in Europe. They're just getting fucking slaughtered. It is now passing the most amongst children all over Europe.
Oh,
that's who's now spreading the virus. And that may have been who was always spreading the virus. Right. We don't know because we weren't testing them.
Right. Because so many kids had it and were asymptomatic and had no idea. I mean, yeah, isn't I heard isn't Italy going back to shut down, and a couple other European countries have gone back to full shutdowns or close to it because
Italy, Germany's going back into lockdown. It's all over Europe. It's France, I think, is going back into lockdown. And every time they start testing kids, it's like, oh God, they all have it. So, it's really, like you said, it's the two-party thing. And because Trump was so bad, everyone's just like, well, Biden's in there and he's following the science. No, he isn't. No one's following the science with the kids. No one is following the science. They just want to get kids back in school because they want to do the testing and they want to get people off unemployment and back working. But the problem is it's this hybrid thing. So it's actually making it more complicated for parents. Like if you're a parent and you have your kid at home and they're going to school online, is that better or worse than having to take your kid to school 2 days a week and then only for 4 hours as opposed to 6? So now you got to go figure out a way to pick them up. Like, how is that? How is your work schedule in that case? Oh, boss, I got to pick up my kid. It's noon. Like what on Tuesday? Like, it's just
this.
What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. Like what? And honestly, I mean, it became pretty clear to all of us, a couple months into it last year, when there's just like the CARES Act and you're like, oh, this country, nobody cares. This is a banana republic. Nobody, the government doesn't give a shit about us. Trump really didn't give a shit. And now we've got the pleasant old man that doesn't kind of give a shit, but it's not as obvious. Like it's just this country, COVID-19 has exposed every problem that America had.
Every single problem. Every single problem. And it has accentuated the animosity between the two Armenian groups here in Glendale. Mm-hmm. Like you see them going at, like it's all accentuated and everything is just being highlighted. Like none of it works. I mean, nothing in America works. Everybody knows we needed to fix the schools before COVID came.
Right.
The class sizes are too big. They're already like 30, 36 kids in a lot of places. The schools are just dilapidated, particularly, in urban environments where we've just, fuck it. There's mold and there's, nothing works and nobody gives a shit because up in the suburbs, like my suburb, we have a PTA and everyone just throws in tons of money and things that you need get taken care of. Well, this battle isn't just for, down in Glendale, there's schools that are far worse off and there's parents that are far worse off. They have a worse economic situation down there than we do up here in the hills. And so when I'm fighting this, I'm also thinking like, well, there's people down there that can't deal with this. Like you have to make it safe for them to send that because they're going to have to send their kids to school. Why aren't we doing testing? You remember when everyone was like, the way to stop COVID is 3 things: testing, tracing, and quarantining? Like that was always a thing from the start. Well, now it's just quarantining and tracing for schools. And you're like, what the fuck does that even mean? Just do the rapid tests. The rapid tests cost $5 each. You give a kid a test in the morning. And then if it comes back positive, then you send them off to go get the official test that costs a lot more and is a thing. And then maybe you can catch some kids. I mean, rapid tests aren't 100%. They're like 60, but it's still a safety net. Like you catch some kids that might have it. And they're just like, yeah, we don't need to do testing. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't need to do testing because it costs money. That's why you don't want to fucking do it. Like we did this with the grocery workers and the fucking poultry plant workers. We just sent them off to die. And it's like, well, now we're going to do that with our children because they don't die as much. Well, some are going to fucking die and their teachers are going to fucking die. What are we doing?
It's mystifying. I mean, in this country, one of the things that got exposed in this country was how propagandized everybody is. And liberals like to go, yeah, I know, Fox and News and QAnon. Not just them. Not just them. I mean, the liberals are they've been listening. Yeah. They think Russia hacked the last election. So they're, and they think, Joe Biden and Kamala are fantastic people. They don't want to listen to the reality of them. They think Obama was great. They don't want to hear any of these realities. So nobody, I mean, when you talk to, and I know you do this because you've done shows internationally. You have friends and fans in other countries. When you talk to people from other countries, they go, "What is wrong with America? Like literally, what is wrong?"
Yeah.
And
no, they literally talk to us like we're crazy people. They're just like,
"You guys are out of your
I wish everybody could talk to someone in another country because they literally are just like, what is going on? Like, it is concern, it is fear. They're just like, what is happening with you guys?" And remember, they've been watching us kill kids in schools for years. We don't give a shit. So of course we're going to send them back with COVID around because we sent them back with school shootings. We don't care about children's lives. How many kids died at fucking Stony Hook? Like 30 children, little fucking children. Nobody gives a shit.
Gunned down.
We just don't care.
No, we don't care. Okay, obviously, we don't care. We don't care about the 85,000 kids we've killed in Yemen. So why we don't care about our own kids? We don't care about Yemen. Yeah. I mean, look, and this is like Madeleine Albright back in 1994 going, 500,000 Iraqi kids dying because of sanctions. It's unfortunate, but it's necessary. She said that in a 60 Minutes interview. And she's revered, Ilhan Omar says she's one of her heroes. That's our big progressive. The squad loves somebody that sanctioned 500 kids to death. I mean, America is so out of touch. We are so insane. We don't like, and I knew this was going to happen when I posted stuff on social media, but mainly I knew it. And this is what happened on Facebook because there's just more dumb Gen Xers. Unfortunately, our generation is pretty fucking stupid. It's sad. I get the blame. Yeah, I can't sit here and blame the boomers when I look at what Gen X has just become. This just like they watched West Wing and thought, Obama was great or whatever. And I was like, how come Biden, is this was like a week or so ago. I go, he's bombing Syria, but he can't give us our $1,400 checks. And it's always some like, as Lee Camp calls him, some double-digit IQ comic, some road act that was hacky that nobody ever respected to begin with, who's like, oh, Graham, Biden had to respond or something. I fixed it for you. And I'm like, so you're defending war. You sound like a Republican.
Yeah.
And
yeah, they do. They sound exactly like Republicans. I mean, the Republicans we grew up with, they sound no different than them at all.
Right. Because that's what the Democratic Party is. I mean, the Democratic Party today is the Republican Party of 30 years ago.
Yeah, and 100%.
And we know this, like I remember this is probably 5-6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that. Will Anderson, when he was living in LA and he lived around the corner from me and I went over to do his podcast. I think you and I were both on it one time. And he said, the right-wing party of Australia is to the left of the Democrats in this country. Yeah. He goes, you know that, right? And that's most countries are like that. Their right-wing crazy conservative party is like literally, like, as nuts as Boris Johnson and that party is, they look like a goddamn hippie commune compared to the Democrats here. Like, it's, and
I mean,
we're politically homeless. Us, like, lefty, socialist, progressive, we have nothing. There's no party for us. There's no one for us.
No one has any ideology in the Democratic Party. Like that's why their COVID response has been so shitty. And Newsom's a great example, and Cuomo, and they're not looking at it from an ideological perspective. They're looking at it from a how do we keep money rolling perspective. It's just capitalism. And so they're just shifting with the fucking wind, and like, oh, that guy, those people are mad at me for this, I'll do this now.
Yeah.
But it's why I bring up, like, why don't we taking over big box, stores and shit like that? That's a socialist solution. Let's just take shit over and put people into safe environments. If you want to put them back in school, like that's how you would do it. Let's just take some shit over and away from big businesses and straighten this shit out. But they're not looking at it from that perspective. They're trying to squeeze an answer into this using capitalism, and capitalism has no answer for this. It has no answer at all.
All capitalism. I mean, honestly, like, COVID has really uncovered how awful capitalism is. I mean, really, like, and when you have a capitalist society like America, you don't have a society. You have the United Corporations of America. There's no working for each other. There's no helping each other out. I mean, America went about 2 months of, yay, we're in it, we got to protect our vulnerable. And then by month 3, it was like, Nana had a good run, good luck. It was just like,
we started killing old people immediately. We're just like, well, they can't. This is just fuck that.
Yeah, but that's
how are we going to deal with them? Do you know why? Do you know why? No, this is another thing. The reason that the retirement homes were so bad is because of capitalism. So there's only a few, like, tenured nurses on a staff, and you have to work your way up to be a tenured nurse. So it takes years to get there. And then once you do, then you have a job, and you only work that job, and it is one home. Until you get there, you work at like 4 different nursing homes part-time to get the hours, and until a space becomes available, until you can become like a tenured nurse or care person or whatever it is in a retirement home. So the way our system is set up to squeeze the most money out of workers and not pay them benefits and everything they need created a massive spread, because those workers are going from one home to another, to another, to another, and they're just spreading it. So instead of just going, hey, here's the situation with old people in these homes, let's make these workers only work at one place, we just let it continue. And the old people died and died and died and died.
But Cuomo handled it well in New York.
Mass murderer. He is a mass murderer.
Mass murderer. I mean, there's not only what happened that all this stuff that's coming out now about what he did in the, in the senior centers, and of course the corporate media is so biased for the Democrats. I mean, Fox is obviously, it's just a bias for the Republicans, but CNN and MSNBC, it's unbelievable. And when people, it's not liberal. I mean, that's just awful corporate Democrat media, but they won't even talk about that. What was it? 10 or 20,000 hospital beds he shut down over the period of 10 years leading up to this. All of his fights with the nurses union. I mean, our mutual friend completely ignored. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. And now, like, oh, he's a sex creep. Oh, and this is another me too. Believe all women, unless they accuse Democrats. Then maybe not so much.
We fucking knew it before he was elected last time. Like, all the lefties were screaming about it. It's not like Lindsay just came out with this fucking story recently. She's been saying it for years, and we've been like, yeah, they don't give a shit.
No,
they don't fucking care.
Well, look at Tara Reid. They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
She was sexually assaulted by Biden, and nobody cares. And like so-called like liberal feminist women who are all screaming "Me Too" literally don't care about Tara Reid. They don't care
at all.
It's offensive.
I mean, you really have to like look, and you say we're not a society. We haven't been in society for years, and that was really Reagan's great project. But it's like, now we're at the point where we've gone through all these different workers, and now we're just like, well, let's sacrifice the teachers and the kids. And the really big part of it for me is, besides that, they're not doing what it takes. They're like, we have schools, we have classrooms where the windows don't open, and they're not going to unseal them. They're just going to, when we asked in that meeting, that dickhead school board guy who keeps his mask down, he was like, well, I mean, people could break in. And I've always heard that they seal shut windows because it's racism and they're scared of brown people breaking in. But I just heard it and I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's why you keep a window sealed shut, because someone might break in. And so that's ventilation. That'll keep kids alive. That'll keep teachers alive. But we have to deal with the fact that 25% of Americans or more don't believe in COVID. And so I'm not sending my kid to school. We're not sending a teacher to school into an environment where everyone's trying to be safe. We're sending them into an environment with suicide bombers.
Right.
Let me read you. This is from a Reopen group in our Cynthia Spears. My kids have been in pods the entire school year. The benefit of them being on campus and being with other kids outweigh the mask wearing. As soon as we get off campus, they take off those masks and don't put them on for the rest of the day. It's worth it for the socialization aspect. Here's another one. And so there's just tons of these. My kids and I don't wear masks. We never have, and they don't want to either. I have 4 kids from 23 months to 17 years old. They see their friends all the time. We have never quarantined. So that's who I'm pitting my kid into school with. It's not like it's a bunch of people who are trying to stay safe. It's what, 25% of them who don't think it's real. So how do you mitigate that? Like, so when they say everybody in the class, they say it's all going to be safe because the kids all follow the rules. And you're like, okay, well, here's kids that don't give a shit. So what are you fucking talking about? And that's what we're dealing with. Like, it's just like, no one gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. And then they start fucking and lying about the goddamn science. It's 3 feet, 6 feet shit. All of a sudden, the asymptomatic kids don't matter. It's just like, this is what it came to us, right? It finally came to my life personally. It happened to the grocery store workers. It happened to all the guys working in the meat plants. It happened to all the people in restaurants, and it happened to all the fucking immigrants who are picking out in the fields because they all go and live in these terrible situations. It just went through every single sector of our society. And this is it. This is the last one that they haven't. The only people who are untouched are rich people who can afford to live in a box,
right,
and have their food delivered. Everybody else is being sacrificed. It's not a society. It's worse than not a society. There's no empathy whatsoever. Nobody cares about each other.
Oh, no, none. America's selfishness. I mean, we've been bred to be selfish. And this is, look, that the ruling class has done a fantastic job of propagandizing all of us through the media, and not just the news, but like, you look at your Hulu or Netflix or the recommended, It's all kill, revenge, selfish. The comedies, we know this, are all just like, every comedy is like, I'm a stupid, selfish fuck up. Like, that's every comedy, every comedian special on Netflix. I can't watch them anymore because it's just like, some of them are funny comics. They're good joke writers, but I'm like, I don't need another, like, oh, I'm a dipshit. Like, that's because you can't do any comedy calling out the ruling class. You can't. They won't give you a special. They won't give you a series. It's just like, and if it's like, if you're a guy, you got to be just some beer guzzling Yahoo, and a girl like, I like sleeping around or whatever. That's it. That's all you're allowed to say. And maybe a couple of Trump jokes, back a couple, before you left, it was like, you could do Trump jokes, but you couldn't be like, oh, Joe Biden is a warmonger. You couldn't say that. No. Like the 94 crime bill, Kamala Harris put 100,000 black people behind bars. That's not going to go in your Netflix special. And so because of that, we have insanity. We have insane people who then don't think COVID is real. And I understand like having some skepticism about this vaccine and skepticism about the big pharmaceutical company. I totally get that. Ask those questions. But just the like, nope, across the board, I'm like, all right, man. Like, you know, I mean, I was a little skeptical 6-7 months ago. I'm like, are they rushing this thing? Is it too? And
then I think we all were.
Yeah, of course. As well,
we read about it, and you understand why it works so fast, and you go, oh, that all makes sense. Like it's something they've been working on for 10 years, and
because it's connected to SARS. So they've been researching this for a long time. And then this woman the thing that sold me is when I found out the woman that created the RNA inhibitor thing a couple years ago, they created it, and the pharmaceutical companies went, her version's too cheap. It won't make us as much of a profit. So let's use the old version. That's why I was like, well, now I want the RNA one. Because that's the one I want, because a scientist did research and came up with something great, and the pharmaceutical companies went, it's not good for the bottom line. So and you do the research and you find out about it, and you're like, they're gonna make you have vaccine passports. Yeah, I've had one. I had to. There's these in LA. I went to this guy several times over. He's literally called the travel doctor, and you go there and you say, I'm going to this part of the world. He goes, all right, well, you need yellow fever and you need this and this, and they get this thing and they give you stickers and you have to show it on your passport when you came back. And like, here's malaria pills. I had to do all that shit. I went to all these crazy
it's a big
places.
Fucking deal.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy to me that's people are flipping out about it. And it's funny. I went online because, I've been reading about this. I've been reading scientists and what they're talking about. And sometimes it's like, well, everyone should be tested. All the kids should be tested. And the fucking parents that came out, my kid's not getting tested for COVID, just hundreds fucking yelling at it. And I'm just like, it's a fucking test, man. Like if you go fuck some girl in the back of an alley or whatever, maybe get tested for VD. Like, I don't know. Like it's a test, dude. It's a fucking test. Trust me, these people have had a lot of VD tests. Like, just go. It's just a fucking test. You hang out with someone who's got tuberculosis, maybe get a fucking test.
Yeah,
it's like a test, and it's against freedom now to get it. It's just this society is.
It's gone out of control in so many sense. First of all, and if you don't want to get it, fine, don't get it. I don't get the flu vaccine every year because I trust my immune system. And yet I've never stood outside of a CVS going, you're getting a vaccine, test you, man, you're crazy. I just say, that's your choice. That's my choice, whatever. Maybe you're a high risk group. My body is always in pretty good shape. I can fight off a flu vaccine. I don't know. Maybe when I'm 75, that'll change. But the craziness. And then people don't realize in the third world, all these poor countries are begging for this vaccine. They're begging.
Oh my God. I mean, Bill Gates is the devil.
Oh,
because that Oxford one they were going to make it public. They were going to be like, whoever can make it. And he fucking talked him into keeping it private. Do you know how many people that motherfucker killed by doing that?
Yes. So when people are like, I don't want the Bill Gates vaccine because he's going to murder us. No, this is how he's murdering people. He's not giving it to the third world. And there's parts of this world where they still have polio. There's a vaccine for that. It's been around for 70 fucking years. And we can't, because it's not profitable. This country can't afford it. So we're not going to give it to them. So it's such a thing of American privilege to say, I don't want this vaccine. They're begging for it in Mexico. They're begging, and Biden has.
It also I get that people make money, but it's going to harm us because variants are going to come.
Yes.
I mean, P1 is a great example. The one in Brazil, it apparently reinfects people. Like 35-40% of people that have already had it can get reinfected. And so that's now here in the United States. And it's going to happen again and again and again unless we vaccinate everybody in the fucking world. But again, it's just racism and greed. Those are a bunch of fucking brown people. I don't care. And then on top of that, my company's making money. But just the fact that we live in a world where everybody's not like, no, these vaccines need to go to everybody now. Everybody needs to get them. And it's not even that. That's a great example of where the fuck is MSNBC on this? Where's CNN on this? Just nothing. It's super dangerous to all of us, not just the people in those countries, even for self-preservation. Use your fucking brain.
Right. We should be sending hundreds of millions of vaccines to Mexico just because we share a border with them.
Yeah.
Like we should be vaccinating and, you know, we should be doing that. And the people coming to the border and that should all be happening. Well, everybody, hit the like button, share and subscribe. My name is Graham Elwood, and you're watching The Political Vigilante. I'm here with the host of the Dollop podcast, Dave Anthony. We've just been talking about the insanity of forcing kids open into school districts and the collapse of capitalism, the collapse of America at the behest of toxic capitalism.
I should say that we're fortunate because other school districts in like Florida and, you know, whatever else, Missouri, like they're just opening and there's no masks. They don't, it's just fucked.
It's insane. It's insane. I don't want to live in a crazy country anymore. I don't want to live in an insane society. I just can't do it. Like I grew up in an alcoholic home. I'm not going to live in a country that's worse. I'm just not like a bigger, crazier, more gun version. I'm not going to do it. But I wanted to talk to you about this new stimulus plan. That they're all touting it, and everybody on this is what is so insane and stupid about our corporate media. So obviously the neoliberal side, MSNBC, CNN, is talking about how this is great and it's rescuing poor people. And then Fox's criticism of it isn't even a good their criticism is stupid, is within the parameter of these two stupid parties. And so there's all this shit in this thing. Like I had Justin Jackson on the show yesterday, and he was like, first of all, he's great. He's fantastic. I mean, the guy is 25, 26. He's an NFL player, and he's like sharp, gets it. And it's fantastic to listen to the guy. But he pointed out, we were talking about this yesterday, no $15 an hour minimum wage, which we could have. Mm-hmm. Student debt forgiveness could be in there. Joe Biden doesn't even need a bill for that. He could just do that through executive order. Yep. I don't know. Most people understand this. 85% of all student loans are federal. So that he doesn't need Congress for that. He can literally through executive order, gone, take that off and infuse trillions of dollars into the economy by a bunch of people not having to make monthly payments anymore. He could give us all Medicare for all through executive order because we are in the middle of a national emergency.
That's right.
There's that city, I forget, in Montana or wherever that had a crisis, and they gave everybody free healthcare because there was like a water spill or something. There was contaminated water. And he could do that on a national level. And in this thing, they're saying, oh, it's lifting people out of poverty. My two questions on this. Well, first of all, it isn't, and we'll get into that in a sec, but it's not. So you're lying. But let's say it was. Oh, so you could have done this whole time? Well, so now we get everyone. So we could have fixed poverty a long time ago, but just now we did it. Like,
yeah. And that's really the grotesque part of it, is that everyone who's getting money now is going to be like, why haven't I gotten money all the time? Why have I been living like this? What exactly is it that I have to live in squalor and just check to check and moment to moment when you could have helped me out a long time ago?
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is like, if I'm I have a house and I'm trying to get by, and I'm a renter, and, I got a couple of kids, and I really need a better job. And I don't need to pay as much for healthcare. I do not need to pay what I'm paying. And then I have my school loans, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you give me $5,000, that doesn't take care of any of those problems.
No.
I still have a job that doesn't pay enough. I still am paying too much for medical care that doesn't work that well. And I still have my student loans. Systematically, you've done nothing to change my life at all. You've just given me a check, and that's not a program. You can't say that Biden eliminated poverty. He didn't eliminate anything. It's a temporary Band-Aid for poverty. He just threw money at people for a few months, and then that's it. And then everything goes back to normal. And do people remember FDR? They're acting like Biden's done this amazing thing that no one's done before. Well, that's not what FDR did. He put people back to fucking work, and he created programs to help people for the long term.
Jobs. He literally created whole new industries and put people at work, like building the WPA theaters. Like part of that, like I did that FNX show that I directed was in one of those. It's beautiful. There's ornate tapestries. So he put artists and architects and construction people, and then for a thing that's for the arts, that's good for society. There's no new jobs. Biden didn't create any new jobs. He's not putting it. There's no jobs program. Obama didn't have one. Trump didn't have one. No one has a new jobs program. Where the fuck is it? It's maddening to me, because it's like that. This is the biggest tax break parents have gotten. Okay, but it's only 1 year. They're not. I mean, so are they extending it? Doubtful. Even if they do, what about me? I don't have kids. I don't.
Right. I know.
Where's my break?
Yeah,
what do I get?
People with kids are getting a ton of money, and I'm just thinking, like, well, everybody. Most of the young people who are really fucked right now, and what are they don't have? Most of them don't have kids. Like, what are you doing? It was such a weird thing to put out there that, like, we're just going to throw all this money at people with kids, and it's like there's a lot of other fucking people out there that are having a hard time. Why is it just people with kids?
And if you want to help families so much, you want to get people out of poverty, $15 an hour. They couldn't even do that. You know how many people's lives you would drastically change in states where the minimum wage is $7 an hour and the cost of living isn't as bad as it is in California or New York or whatever. That would drastically change somebody's life. You know?
Yeah, and also it's shit. It should be 25. It's fucking 15 is bullshit. I mean, that's just like the worst compromise of all time. It should be 25. It's just fucking nonsense. So yeah, they did absolutely nothing, and it's kicking the can down the road. That's all that's been happening this entire pandemic. They're kicking the can down the road. They're not addressing the rent situation, which is fucking massive. People are going to get these checks, and they're going to do what with it? I mean, the Democrats put out this little video of what people are going to do, and almost every person was like, "I'm going to pay off some of my debt." It's like, what the fuck is that? I'm going to pay off some of my fucking debt. Do you know how stupid that sounds?
That's not changing anybody's lives. And the unemployment ends in September, according to this bill. And look, if everything kind of opens up the way they're saying if these vaccine rollout, like we said, the one thing Biden has done correctly is getting more vaccines. So if everyone's, and the economy's open and blah, 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 that's the plan, is then, hey, we're done with stimulus and you got to just like figure it out. And then what? And there's no rent forgiveness. And so you've got renters, and then you've got people who just had to put a forbearance on their home, like they couldn't afford their mortgage, or even just everyone's like all mad at all landlords. And I got to say, you can't be some landlords are small business owners. Like they just own a rental property, and now they can't afford the mortgage because their renters aren't working. And so they've lost all these revenue streams, and all they've done is gone to their banks and given a forbearance, which just, they don't have to pay make the payments, but the interest, it all adds up. And okay, yeah, they're going to restructure the loan, but I'm sorry, if your mortgage payment was, let's say $1,200, and they just restructure the loan and you don't have to make back payments, the new payment's going to be $1,500, $1,600, something like that when they recalculate it. So it's still not going to help you. You're still going to be making bigger payments. That's the best case scenario. Not to mention your property tax has gone up. They might just go, here's a long-term interest pay. Like they've kicked this can down the road. Right now, there's a housing shortage of people haven't put their houses up for sale because of COVID, because they don't want to have people in their home, whatever. Well, when the stimulus runs out, and when there's a glut of homes and people start selling stuff like that and prices come down or whatever, or the forbearance comes due, or because there isn't rent forgiveness, then people are just going to go, I got to sell my home so I don't foreclose. And then there's going to be a glut. And then what? Yeah. Like there's going to be a housing collapse. The commercial real estate. I mean, think of all these big offices where everybody's been working from home for 12 months. All these big companies are like, why are we paying this exorbitant rent? You know, maybe we'll have people come back. We'll get a smaller office space. People will come back 1 or 2 days a week. Some people like work. I mean, but like the big office is going to be buzzing again. No way.
No, it's done. Like no, there's no big offices anymore. You don't need them.
No.
And so that you're right. That's a huge part of the economy. Like commercial real estate is fucking massive. And yeah, I mean, the due date's coming on all this shit, and I don't know what they did for it. Like all these, I just remember the next day I went online and I was like, well, they didn't pass all this stuff that's really needed. And then you just see all these people
Defending.
tweeting and yelling about how great it is and how it's going to change the world. And it's just like, yeah, no, it's they're not even suckers. It's propaganda. They're like you said, they're all just loving Biden, and whatever Biden does can be no wrong. And it's like, no, they didn't get the minimum fucking wage, which was already shit. $15 is fucking shit. He's not going to do anything about student loans, which is, there have been studies that have shown that it would be better for the economy by far to wipe out the student loans. It helps the economy. It helps everything.
Mm-hmm.
And just the fact that they're just in the pockets, man. They just don't give a shit about anybody. It's like that Cobra shit that they did.
Oh God!
Instead of giving us Medicare for all, they're like, everybody can have Cobra. And you're like, Cobra's the worst thing ever.
Ever.
It's the worst.
Oh, great. You get to double or triple your insurance costs. Awesome. And I got to make copays, and there's going to be all the shit that's not covered. I remember the first time I got Cobra when I had health insurance through the Actors Union and it expired, and they're like, but you can do Cobra. And it was like $500 a month. I'm like,
yeah. Now, if the last I checked, if my insurance runs out for my family of 3, it's like $2,300 a month.
That's doable in a pandemic. Totally doable. I mean, like,
it's like fucking rent.
I know.
If even that, like, it's crazy.
And like, if this bill did student debt forgiveness, $15 an hour, and Medicare for all, then you could go. And I would be the first to say, I don't like Biden. You and we don't like Biden. I would say, well, I'll give them credit. They passed these. I guess enough people pressured them to pass these 3 things, which these are life-changing things. These will make everybody's lives in America better. This is something we can point to 5-10 years from now and go, and I'll be the first to say, I didn't like Biden. I didn't vote for him. There's a lot of awful shit, but he gave us this, this, and this. And that helped the economy, but they didn't do it. And they waited 3 weeks to give us this $1,400, a month to give us this $1,400. It's like, I mean, I'm going to buy fucking Bitcoin with that $1,400 personally.
It's fucked up, because when all these news people come out and say how much this is changing things and how great it is and how all these people are going to be out of poverty, it really sets people up. And then when the fucking other shoe drops and they're like, wait, now there's nothing, that means it's just going to be more upsetting to people.
I know.
You know, I talked to a lot of people when they were getting the $600 checks, and people were just like thrilled. Like, they were living a life they hadn't lived before. All these people had been making shit money, and now they were getting what a living wage would be.
Yep. And
now that's going to be gone. How do you think that's going to work? Like, and if you don't have a popular answer for that, if you don't have, a socialist answer or some sort of answer for people, well, then you're going fascist. Those are the choices, and they're setting us up for pure fascism.
Yeah, because here's what's going to happen. Like you said, a lot of people are like their unemployment benefits were better than their crappy job, which shows you how. And the unemployment was not great, but it shows you how crappy the jobs are in this country for most people. And so that unemployment is going to run out in September. Now, maybe they've been paying their rent, maybe not. If they've been paying their rent, okay, they're still back to their shitty job. How are they going to, that they're still back to barely getting by? That's the people who were paying their rent with unemployment, right? Yeah. Now, about all the people who didn't pay the rent, like unemployment wasn't enough or whatever. What's going to happen to them? And all these, real commercial real estate and regular real estate and the rent bubble and all these things we've been talking about, that's all going to come due. Then what? And so this country is going to be faced with, maybe finally people will like really rise up and realize we're in class warfare. It's not Republican versus Democrat. But
I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think so either, because
I mean, we sat through this and we saw the mile long car lines, and And we saw all this shit and nothing happened. Like everyone's just, hanging out. Not the lack of anger is like I said this on our podcast. Like Eric Garcetti shouldn't be able to drive through the streets of Los Angeles without people throwing fruit at his car and just trying to run him off the road. Like he's done a terrible job and killed people because of COVID. He's just done a bad job. And nobody cares. Everyone just goes about their business. And it's just like I don't think I used to think that there was a level of anger that would rise up, but now I just don't think it's a thing that's going to happen. I think that we're Brazil, right? I mean, that's what we become because there is apparently there's no bottom to the shit that we'll take. We'll just keep taking it and people getting kicked out of their houses, and then there'll be shanty towns and everyone just be like, yeah, this is what we're doing. Like, I just don't see any fight back from anybody. The only fight back we've had is Black Lives Matter, and that's because they're literally fucking killing people. But apparently, I mean, this just seems like, putting.
And even that got put to sleep by Obama when the sports leagues went on strike. And that was the moment. I talked about this with Justin Jackson because he told me he was an NFL player. They had a scrimmage set. He goes, the NBA, the Bucks went on strike for a playoff game. And everyone was on strike. There was like 3 days. And I remember going, this is the moment. This is it. Like, you couldn't escape it. And I said a lot of, because sports, you know this, you're a sports fan, that there's people from all walks of life. And look, I know there was All Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter people watching like Doc Rivers cry and stuff like that. And it was powerful. And they were probably like, man, maybe my sports here, maybe this isn't right. And if the leagues, and it was forcing white America to like really, because it was George Floyd and then they shot Jacob Blake in the back. And it was like, this was forcing white America to go, wait a minute, man. And now there's not even sports. You don't even get the reprieve. Oh, if sports is back, yay, everything's not as bad. No, we're shutting it down. It's forcing you. And Obama comes in and everyone goes back to sleep. And I remember like you and I would talk all summer and into the fall leading up to the election. You and I both thought like there was going to be what happened on January 6th. I thought that was going to happen around November, and it was going to last for 2-3 weeks. And Trump, it was going to be a full-on civil war. And then even when January 6th happened that morning, I was like, oh man, this is going to be awful, a gunfight, and it's going to spill out and all the state capitals. And this is it. Nope. They went in, they took selfies, stole a podium. and
I mean, like some of them tried to kill some people, but not enough.
They tried to, and then they weren't met with force. If Black Lives Matter would have done that, they would have been mowed down in the Capitol. And then there's some outrage and stuff. And okay, the FBI is arresting people. Okay, fine. One of them is the guy we were friends with. But but I agree. I thought, I remember when you and I were talking a lot about it, we're like, man, America's going to collapse. It's going to collapse. They've just kicked the can down the road financially. Americans don't get angry enough to really rise up and do anything. They're easily like quelled. They're easily like,
they get played by their masters.
So
Democrats are just amazing how much they get played by their fucking masters. Like they all act like they think better and they want healthcare for everybody, but then Pelosi comes out and says, we can't do it, and they all go, we can't do it, and that's the end of that. Like, it's just like, it's fucking amazing to watch. Like, how long do you have to sit and shit before you get mad at the people who are supposed to be your politicians? Like, when do you get mad at them? When do you get fucking mad at them?
I don't know. 10 years. We've had 10, 11 years. No, the financial crisis was 2008, but 2008, 2009, 2010, those years were like really bad. So we're talking at least 10, 11, 12 years of like, that didn't do anything. Occupy Wall Street didn't. Edward Snowden, like none of it. Trump was going to wake people up. And I thought there was going to be this thing. And I remember you and I talked and we were both like, there could be this crazy, it's going to collapse. It's going to collapse. And then we both kind of, at different times went, or America's just going to limp along. Like, we're like, if Biden wins, they're just going to limp along.
But we don't have a lot of time to,
no.
If people want to have like a big overthrow or whatever the fuck we're talking about, we don't have a lot of time, because if you look around the country, Republicans are stripping voting from everybody everywhere. This was for me, and you brought up Trump, and we thought that was always Susan Sarandon's thing. Like, well, that'll fucking wake people up. That actually isn't. And people were like, Susan Sarandon was wrong. And you're like, yeah, but that's but that's not the problem. The problem is she was wrong because she had too much faith in the American people that they would not sit in shit, and they decided to sit in shit. And so when you think about that moment of like, when is this gonna flip? And I always go back to that Susan Sarandon thing, because I had the same sort of thing. I had that same idea of like, well, if Trump does get, and I didn't want him to get elected. I was one of those people that were like, this guy's fucked. And I didn't, I think Hillary would have been better. I always said that, just because he's a fucking psychopath. But the other part of me was like, well, if he does get elected, people will fucking, it'll be this big come to moment. And it wasn't. Yeah. It just wasn't. And that lays on the Democrats for not putting up an actual fight about what this should be and how we should change things. And I don't know what it will take. Like, think about everything we've just been through with like you said, the housing crisis in 2008, all the way up till now. I mean, what is it going to fucking take? I don't know. I don't think there is a thing anymore. I think that we just sit here and we stew in it. And my other big thing about Hillary losing, the silver lining, was always, for me, well, the state houses are incredibly important. And when 2020 comes, if Hillary loses and Trump in there, there'll be a massive reverse, and Democrats will take over tons of state houses. And then we'll be able to reverse all the gerrymandering and all the shit. And what did they do? They ran Biden, and down ticket Republicans swept everything. And it's like, well, there you fucking go. So even my silver lining turned out to be shit.
We all had this. I wasn't happy Trump won either. I didn't vote for Hillary, but I was like, God, Trump's awful.
You don't need to. You live in California. You don't need to vote for anybody.
Yeah. No. But we all had this sort of like, Americans are going to really wake up, and you saw more people get involved politically. You saw more stuff, and you're like, okay. And then, Bernie, but the Democratic Party didn't own it. They didn't do a reckoning. Democratic voters didn't want to own it. And they just said, Trump bad. And then the Democratic primary, there was literally Bernie, Tulsi, and Mike Gravel were the only people that
Yeah.
It was like, that was the only shot we had. Gravel had no chance. And Tulsi quit, and Bernie never reached out to, he didn't, the Bernie campaign was just mystifying to me. But, and then as we talked about, he just quit a year ago, and that March 15th debate was his opportunity to say, I'm the guy to lead us through this. And that could have been Bernie, this socialist revolution. Everyone would have been like, yes, get it. Socialism. Now we need it. He could have ran that the whole summer. Capitalism has killed us. I'm going to give you socialism. I'm going to give you free healthcare. I'm going to give student debt forgiveness. And everyone would have gone, yes. And you're not Trump. Great. Love it. And you're right. It's just like we keep expecting these.
Expect people to wake up.
And they won't. They just won't. They're not going to. And there's people waking up, watching this show, watching your show, Jimmy. But that's it. And God bless those people, but there's not enough of us. It's the sad reality is we are politically homeless. When we all get together at a live show, when that opens up, and I see that those are great. Those live shows, Jimmy's show, your show, Ron and I's, though, they're great shows, but there's not enough of us to do a goddamn thing. There's just not enough. And the Democrats are part of the deep state, just like the Republicans, and they're going to get somebody like Bernie to sheep herd progressives. And everyone's going to cheer in the streets when, a rapist, warmonger, and the guy that wrote the 94 crime bill and the woman that put 100,000 black men behind bars gets elected, and they're going to go, that's it. It's like, America doesn't want to learn. They're like addicts who are gonna, and this, and we've talked about this, like when someone's an addict and you try to get them help, you try to get them sober, and they just keep making the same mistake and they're blaming everybody else. They never take responsibility for themselves. You just have to get out of the way, because otherwise they're going to take you down with them.
Yeah. There's a real, the real problem is that our system of government is a failure, like the way it's set up. And Chile was the exact same government, and it fell after 150 years. Like these presidential republics don't last. But like the pragmatic belief system is what leads us here. And to me, the greatest example of that is go read what Ralph Nader wanted to do as president, and then think about where we are. And he was considered this heretic, lunatic, fringy guy. And if we did everything he wanted, we wouldn't be here. There would be no Trump. None of this would have happened. And the person who was supposed to be the reasonable, pragmatic one lost because he fucking sucked. But also, he wouldn't have done anything to change this. We're on a path to fascism, and the lack of recognition of that is incredible. And they just think, well, we voted out Trump, so now it's gone. It's not gone. It's look at what they're doing in all those states, all the Republicans. It's not gone. It's getting worse. This is just increasing. They're increasing their power. It's power by minority rule. You can't have pragmatism to slowly change things when the minority rule is happening. It's minority rule. It's taxation without representation. There is no pragmatism when it comes to that. There is fucking figure out how to stop it, or they end up increasing their minority rule. That's it. Those are the two options. So what do? I don't know what to do anymore because nobody wants to do anything.
I know. It's like, and then even like force the vote. Like Jimmy comes out and says, hey man, if I said something bad about, forgive me, I'll forgive you. Let's do this. Let's make this happen. And Cenk and Sam Cedar were on board initially, and then that happened.
Sam Cedar is fascinating to me because, for years he was going after Jimmy, and the thing about Jimmy with that thing, he went a little too far with the yelling, and it upset people, and I totally fucking get that. He's also mad, like everyone should be mad right now. But the thing that's fascinating to me about Sam is, and I think I've told your audience this before, but when during the Trump Hillary election, I talked to an MSNBC producer, and he told me flat out, MSNBC is pushing for Trump because they want him to win the primary, and then we, MSNBC, will take him down in the general election. And that was an MSNBC producer saying that to my face. And when I watch people like Sam who go off and attack Jimmy all the time, I always think, you're part of a greater evil. I mean, I get that you think that Jimmy's doing damage or whatever, and whatever, you can have that opinion. I don't give a shit. But you're working for a really bad company. Like you're going on the air with the people who helped give us Trump and a war machine. Like you're part of a network that is full of intelligence guys and military guys, and Brian Williams almost having an orgasm when a missile flies off into Syria. And so I just don't know what to do with that. Like so Jimmy's the bad guy in all this, but then people who support that are the good guys. Again, it's bigger picture shit. Like what
no one hears it.
Fuck is happening in that circumstance? Like anybody who is associated with MSNBC right now is a fucking piece of shit. Like you're part of something really bad. And we saw that during the election. Dude, when Bernie won, was it New Hampshire? MSNBC acted like it was 9/11. Chris Matthews lost his mind so much he got taken off the network. Yeah. Joanne Reed was practically fucking crying on air. Like she almost couldn't talk. Why would you want to be associated with that? How are you on the left if you're fucking associated with that?
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
I mean, that's the thing. There is no, this is, and they refuse to see it because they've been so duped and propagandized. They don't even realize. I remember watching one of Rachel Maddow like a year or two ago was doing a segment on Russia. And it was literally sponsored by Boeing. I was like, is nobody sees this? Like nobody it's
just so much bigger picture stuff. And it's like, yeah, a lot of what's happening now in this country is because we're giving all of our money to the fucking military industrial complex. Like, what is it? 750 billion a fucking quarter or some shit. What? I don't know what the amount is, but it gets re-upped all the time. Like, oh, they just did another 750 billion. And it's like, like I get that people don't like when people yell at our politicians and stuff. Like, okay, that's fine. But man, bigger picture shit. Like there's a bigger fucking animal out here that is really fucking bad. And I think the left is just eating itself alive. I think that
Yes.
every time I go online, leftists are screaming at each other, and it's like you need to not be able to like the other people on the left and all work for a common good.
And they're doing
You
the
just
bidding
need
of the
to.
ruling class. Like when everyone went after Jimmy, I said, congratulations, big pharmaceutical companies. Thank you. Like you're helping prevent Medicare for all. So that, 7-year-old girl that had to have a lemonade stand to pay for brain surgery, you helped make that happen. So congratulations.
Well, I can understand the argument of that from a strategic standpoint. If you want to make the argument that wouldn't be a good thing, okay, I can meet you and have that argument about whether or not it's good to push for a vote. I think it would be a good idea to push for a vote at that time. But I also am willing to talk to you about it's not a good idea. But that's not what it was about at all. It became about personalities and everything else. And now that everything is past and we've had some time, I think what the squad was looking for didn't happen. I mean, Nancy Pelosi shouldn't be speaker. There's no reason they allowed her to be speaker. They also allowed they could have put up a stink and stopped the COVID bill and said, we need a minimum wage or this isn't happening. I don't know when they're going to use their power to do stuff like that. To me, that was bare minimum. Just say, well, no one's getting anything until you do a minimum wage, and put it all on the fucking West Virginia and those other fucking, just put it all on them and go, no one's getting anything because these motherfuckers, and see what happens. Just fight the fucking fight, man. Just fight it. Fight the goddamn fight. I'm not going to yell at them. Like that to me, the thing is like, it doesn't matter if you fucking yell at them or not. Like worse than me. I'm just endlessly disappointed in them to the point that I don't even want to yell at them. Like I don't, Nancy Pelosi shouldn't be speaker. They could have lopped her head off. Would have been the best thing they could have fucking done. And then just fight. I mean, David Sirota was saying that when the bill was going through, he's like, the fucking squad should step up and stop it and make sure there's a minimum wage increase and say, that's our bare minimum. That's our bare minimum. How is that not our bare minimum? It should just be our bare minimum. I don't get it. And so I just watch it and I don't know what, it's another reason I'm totally, besides people not rising up, like we did put these people in there and I'm just not seeing very much. I think that the bill Biden passed would have been a lot worse if there wasn't a lot more leftists in the country, and they are responding to that a bit. But as far as programs over a long period of time,
just nothing, and they're never going to, I was a big proponent of the squad. So were you, and I have nothing. I have no faith in them at all. They're not going to do anything. They're all talk. They're going to send out amazing tweets, and AOC has 12 million Twitter followers. She is one of the most powerful people in Congress. She could send out one tweet to say, everybody show up and protest because we want this. We demand Medicare for all right now, this day, this time. I'm going to be there. Demand it. She won't do that. And and like, don't yell at them. I fuck off. I mean, like, you and I watch pro sports. Like, how many times have you seen the home team get booed because they're playing bad? People say, fire that coach. He sucks. And that I agree with. But I just think that the mindset is such that if you yell at politicians, it's almost a negative, not because you're yelling at politicians. It's because the response of people is so crazy to me. Like no one's my friend who's in office. I know.
No, I'll yell at anybody. I mean, when Bernie supported SESTA, the thing that fucking made it so hard for sex workers and made them go back on the streets and shit, I was fucking screaming at him. Like, I'll fucking yell at these people.
Yeah.
When they do shit that I don't agree with. And also, if you're a politician, people are going to fucking yell at you. Like, that's the fucking game. Like, it's just,
get out.
What it is.
You can't handle it.
But I just think the problem is that other people, other leftists can't handle it. And now we have, look, whatever we want to say, whatever Jimmy started, it ended up creating a giant rift. And whether it was right or wrong, I personally think it would have been a good move. It still ended up a huge negative. And I don't know, is that the way Jimmy handled it? Is that the response? Like, it's just a whole mix of things, and it's super fucking complicated. But at the end of the day, we're a headless monster. We don't have any leaders.
Yep. And
no one's guiding us. And so we're all attacking each other. I mean, I probably shouldn't have said that stuff about Sam Cedar, but my brain can't wrap itself around how much MSNBC is part of the military industrial complex and how much they push Trump and how that is, people act like that's fine. Like, my brain can't wrap itself around that.
Nope. Sam Cedar's not on the left. He's not a progressive. He's just a propagandist for the war machine. I mean, like, I
don't know what, I don't watch him. We had a big fight 6 years ago. And I stopped talking to him and I blocked him. So I don't pay attention to him at all. I just know I watched him attacking other leftists all the time.
That's his job. I mean, that's what MSNBC does, which is the behest of the corporate Democratic establishment, which is crush progressives, crush them, either get them to acquiesce, because AOC and the squads have all been promised something. That's why now it's mama bear time, because they've all been promised something.
I don't know if that's true. I think that I really think you get in there and it's like a brain distortion thing happens. I think that you get in there and over time you're like, this is how we do it. And they just slowly work you. I mean, it's almost like a cult. I think they just fucking work you until you think this is how we do it. And you keep doing that thing. The one who really fought Katie Porter, fought the Democratic establishment, and the result was she's no longer on the finance committee. Like,
right.
She went toe to toe with them and she lost. That's what we need. But I don't feel like they sold out or promised anything. I think they just became part of the machine.
I think it's part of that. I bet you they dangled something in front of AOC and said, 2028, you'll be VP, whatever. Maybe. I agree.
It's just like they dangled shit in front of Elizabeth Warren and she fell for it all during the campaign and then got her ass handed to her. I mean, talk about someone getting fucking played. Like, you could see that a mile away.
Oh, I know. They gave her nothing. Like, unreal. Well, all right, dude, before you go, where do you see this? Like, how do you, I mean, I had this conversation earlier today with Ron Placone. I mean, like, there's days where I see little victories, little local victories, and I go, oh yeah, maybe this, maybe that. And maybe we can build a socialist Hollywood. And, and then there's days I'm just like, good luck. Like, place is done. I'm going to protect myself because I'm sick of yelling into the wind. And, I feel like I'm going to the beach with a dustpan trying to clean up sand. Like, it's just America's doomed to fail. I don't know.
Someone asked me the other day why I'm only attacking Democrats. And I said, well, number one, I think they're a big part of the problem and they need to fight back. But number two, it's self-preservation, because I think that this country is going to fall into fascism. And when they look at my record, they'll see me attacking Democrats. Yeah, based on what we're seeing in all the states around the country and how they're taking away all the voting rights and just stripping shit. Unless Democrats get rid of the filibuster and go fucking balls to the wall, this ends up no way except in fascism.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how it can. I mean, everyone needs to understand they're fucking crazy fascists. It's my kid. They're crazy. The Q shit, like half of them believe it now. So get ready. In 2022, there's going to be 60 QAnon people in Congress. Like, this is going to spread. It just gets bigger and bigger. It's part of their mainstream. And that's fascism. Like, fascism is the cornerstone is conspiracies and love of military and hate of brown people. And we're there, man. And the fight isn't enough. Like, you could like, the biggest thing to stop fascism is Medicare for all.
Yep.
It would just calm so many fucking people down. You and I talked about this years ago when we went on Will's podcast. We said that Obamacare will squeeze the middle class and it will cause all kinds of turmoil. And it has. It squeezed the fucking middle class. And so I don't see any way out of this because I don't see anybody who's going to step up and fight for it.
No.
At least we need the Democratic Party to fight, and they're not fighters. They're just, they're doing like passing Cobra stuff and like it's all Band-Aid surfacey shit, and they need to drop a fucking nuke. They need to make Puerto Rico a state. They need to make DC a state. They need to pass a really strong voting rights bill. They need to fucking come hard and hit, and they don't have it. And so I don't know what I don't know. I don't see any way out of this myself.
No,
I mean, if you can tell me one.
I mean, and this is like the sliverest of hopes of just like, if the People's Party can get some momentum and get some people in Congress and the Senate in 2022, that could do it. But it's a small little party and it's hard to get off the ground, and the left loves eating itself. So they'll try to eat this. I don't know. I mean, unless there's like some big defections, like if Nina Turner were to win and then leave the Democratic Party and join the People's Party, and then some big name people defected. This is real fucking Hail Mary pass.
Yeah.
Shit.
The People's Party is, it's too late. It seems like to me that it's too late in the game to do this. And also, when the Jimmy thing happened and everyone took sides, they went with Jimmy, and a lot of people got mad at him. As a party, I thought that was a really dumb move, because you kind of got to stay out of that shit. And I know they wanted it, but it's also like, if you see the left fracturing and you want to be a new party, you just lost a bunch of people. And they went pretty hard. I was watching it. They went pretty hard. And right or wrong, that's when you talk about pragmatism. Like, maybe don't jump into that one. Is that what you want when you're building a party?
I don't know. I mean, I get just like, we're for Medicare for all, so we're for force the vote. Like, to me, it felt very much like we have a simple platform, and so we're going to fight for this. And I don't know that being that hard on Jimmy is going to be the thing that would, dissuade people from getting involved with the People's Party. It'll just be if they don't have the money and the organizational, if their infrastructure isn't there on a grassroots, on a street level. That's what kills so many organizations. There's a good idea, there's a good couple people in charge or whatever, but then if on the street level, if it's not being organized, I don't know. I mean, if they win a seat or two, then that could really change things. Yeah, but again,
how much time do you have?
I know, not much.
The way I see this playing out is 2022, the Republicans take over the Senate and the House, and they impeach Biden.
Yeah. Well,
right.
he's not going to be there. I mean, I don't think Biden makes it to the end of this year health wise. I think Kamala's going to take over at some point, because his cognitive decline just keeps getting worse and worse. And he won't finish his term. There's no. He
won't. I haven't been paying attention to him at all. Is he not?
He doesn't know where the Pentagon is. So,
that it's somewhere in Washington, D.C.
That's fair. Commander in Chief doesn't need to know exact, whatever. Like,
I mean, we all saw it during the election. We knew what he was. I mean, it is what it is. And the long-term game plan was always to have Kamala take over. But, the Republicans they're not interested in democracy. And
no.
Pragmatism is playing the democracy game with people who are trying to set you on fire. Like, it's just not how you fight this. You have to go hard at them as they're going at you and try to salvage something. And so whoever's in there, they're going to impeach at some point. I mean, they fucking impeached Clinton over a fucking blowjob. Like, they don't give a shit.
They tried to impeach Trump twice. So the Republicans are going to go, now it's our turn. I mean, like they're going to say, this is our turn. And it's just going to be impeach. Anyone they don't like, like Newsom, who I don't like, but they're trying to recall him because, anyone who gets in there, the other party is going to try to impeach or recall or whatever. And the Democrats are going to get cleaned out in the midterms. And then the Republicans, if they aren't successful with the impeachment, they're going to run a charismatic ideologue. Trump was just an idiot. He didn't have the ideology nor the cunning of like a dictator. If he did, he would have used November, and I mean, what he would have said, I'm not leaving, and we'd be in a full-blown civil war right now, and Trump would still be in power. Like if he was like cunning, like a dictator, like historically has been. So they're going to run someone that's going to be like a charismatic Mike Pence, who's this, evangelical nut job, but he's not charismatic. It'll be somebody with that type of ideology, but charismatic. And
he'll probably come from show business. It could be Tucker Carlson or something really just crazy. It could be a podcaster or one of these fucking YouTube dudes who are on the right. Like the door's wide open. There's no more like, is it a politician? It's the door's wide.
It could be Owen Benjamin. I mean, it could be literally like it could be Vince Vaughn. It could be anybody, like any sort of psycho like that. It'll be Candace Owens. I mean, like they'll run whoever they got to run, and that person will be nuts and evil, but smart and cunning and diabolical to unite people in a. Trump just said, me, Trump, I'm the best. Yeah. That's all he knew how to do, was be a narcissist. He didn't have any long-term plan. He didn't have any Machiavellian instincts or anything like that. This next person will. And the Democrats are going to go, yeah, but we gave you pragmatic centrism, and Americans, the economy's, as we talked about earlier, the economy will have collapsed. The stimulus will have run out. The bread lines will be longer, and Americans are not going to wake up and rise up. They're going to be fighting with each other, blaming this party. It'll be when the economy goes belly up, Democrats, college-educated liberal, former friends of ours in show business will be blaming it on Trump. And the right will be blaming it on Biden, and neither of them will see that the whole system's broken and it's Wall Street and the billionaires that have fucked him. America refuses to swallow that pill. They just don't want to. They just don't want to accept that they're in class warfare. And so they'll keep allowing themselves to get divided, distracted, and afraid. And there'll be some new boogeyman, some new monster, some false flag from Iran. And we got to ramp up the wars because they're coming. China, Russia, whatever. It'll be one of them or all three. And America will just sink into fascism and implode, and it'll just keep eating itself. And meanwhile, by the way, the environment's still collapsing. Just a little FYI. So
that's always the thing that's in the back of my head. I remember do you remember when the Tea Party dudes took over? They rolled into Congress, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is bad." And the Republican plan was like, well, we'll invite them in, and we'll slowly co-opt them and sort of, let them see all the gold and jewels that we can get by being in Congress, and they'll see the light. And then they brought them in, and they didn't see the light. They stayed ideologically driven in this right. And they weren't even the bad ones.
I know.
Now the Q people are coming, and they're like, what if the Tea Party people were crazy? Like, it's like,
yes,
it's like the next wave of like, holy shit. And it's just like, what the fuck do you do with that? Like, what do you do with that? They're all, I mean, in states like Arizona, they condemned, or whatever they did, the actual Republican Party condemned McCain's wife for not supporting Trump. Like it was like an official condemnation by the party. Like, you're just like, man, this is gonna get fucking crazy. And so I don't know what to do with it. I don't know. I don't see any solution. I would love it if people had a solution. Like, I would love it. I mean, if Sam Cedar had a solution, I would follow him into the fucking ocean. You know what I mean? If anybody had a solution,
sure,
I would be like, let's go fucking do this. But I don't see anybody with a solution to what this is. I mean, there are people on the left who have no power who are saying what the solution is, which is give people material goods that they can survive on, and maybe you'll and then of course go out voting rights and do all that stuff, make a couple of places states. But I don't see anybody really pushing for that stuff, and so I don't know I don't know.
There's no leader, and so there's no plan. I mean, and the things that we keep saying would help, Medicare for all, student debt forgiveness, blah blah blah. No one's the people in charge aren't listening. They don't give a fuck. They're not going to do it. And the Sam Cedars of the world are going to say, yeah, those are great, but now's not the time, like, or whatever their thing is. Like, we'll wait till there's a worse pandemic.
Now's not the time is the only is the main talking point. And I'm hearing it now from friends who are liberals we shouldn't push too far left. And you're like, okay. Well, any reasonable plan is now, quote, too far left because we're so far right. I mean, we're talking about sending our kids to fucking die. Like, how do you want this to go?
It's America's gone insane, literally gone insane. It's an insane asylum, but good luck.
I wish I could sit here and be more positive for people, because people are always like, well, you're a doomsayer. And then I have a bunch of people who always come back to me and go, man, I thought that thing you said was really crazy. And when you said it, I thought it was fucking nuts. And then it turned out to be true. And I'm like, yeah, but you always call me a doomsayer. And then I say things and you go, that guy's out of his fucking mind. And then it happens and you come back and you go, oh, you were right about that. And I say something else and you go, no, that's crazy. And I'm like, oh, that's the pattern. That's the pattern. And my thoughts aren't genius. They're just leftist thoughts. That's all they are. That's why they're coming true, is because we keep being right.
Yes, I know. I don't fucking read tea leaves. I just listen to lefties and other people, and like just Wall Street economists, particular with the economy, going, you can't print this much money and have nothing happen. Like, it's not like these are all, and so I'm just like, okay, the UN report comes out in 2018. We got 12 years to fix climate change, or that we're doomed. Okay, it's 2021. I'm not crazy. I'm not that you told me about this, and now no one, and it's like, the only thing that I have any sort of like positivity, I mean, I say little local victories and I say, get involved locally. That's great. And then I say, buy Bitcoin, man. That's your chance to get the fuck out of, I'm telling you, man, like when it hits 500,000, $1 million a coin, you're going to go. And I've already had fans go, Graham, thanks for telling me. I go, just buy fucking Bitcoin, start learning about crypto, buy some of the other coins. And if you do that,
but then what about the environmental impact of crypto? Like, then you have that problem. Like, we're environmentalists. And then if you jump in, it's this weird spiral where self-preservation means getting in on something like Bitcoin, but then Bitcoin is fucking up the environment. It's such a fucking,
well, here's the thing, and that's true. I mean, yes, there's a big power drain that absolutely. I mean, nothing is worse on the environment than the United States military. So there's that. But also, Bitcoin was created by a person or persons that were geniuses. So there's a solution out there. In the meantime, you got a Bitcoin mine, just put some fucking solar panels on that thing. There's I think the answer to that, and it's a legitimate concern of cryptocurrencies in general, is the power drain of the mining. It's a legitimate concern, but I think there's enough, like there's already green energy that can be applied to it. China, which has a lot of Bitcoin mines, is already
do they really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're coming. They've already launched their own digital currency.
I didn't know that. I know.
Yeah, they in fact gave a bunch of people in this town 25. They gave out $15 million equivalent to people. Like, they gave everybody $25 on this app to just go use it, try it, go buy some coffee or whatever, and see what it's like. And people are like, oh, cool, just to get people used to it. And so they've already started to, because they've have a huge smog issues and stuff like that. But China has been, since 2015, has been out building green energy, So I don't know. I think that solution is it's already there. That solution is there. People just need to embrace it and put the money into it. And I think a lot of the Bitcoin early adopters that are now Bitcoin whales are like, all right, well, I have the money because I bought 20,000 Bitcoin at 5 cents a piece in 2009. And I'm seeing more of them get into and address the environmental issue. So I'm not as worried about that personally. It's a legitimate issue and deserves to be discussed, but I feel like the solution, people are already like addressing it. But yeah, the only thing I'm happy about is my crypto portfolio.
Yeah, it's really weird to be a lot. There are always periods of time where everything falls apart. We're still better off than people in Europe in World War II, right? And people in Europe in World War I. Like, there are periods where everything fucking falls apart, and you have to live through them, and it's fucking rough. And we're in it. Like, America is every single part of America that you look at is run wrong. There isn't a part of America that you look at and go, well, that's doing pretty good. It's just not. I mean, name one thing. Name one fucking part of America.
Wall Street.
The economics. Yeah. Wall Street, schools, like our healthcare system, our political system. What thing is going? None of it. Like it is just a system that has been obliterated by corruption. The minute that dude in like the 1910s or 20s wrote in the margins, and he wasn't even on the Supreme Court. He was just a clerk or a reporter, and he wrote in the margins, corporations are people. It's all led here.
Right.
And now it's corrupted every single part of America. Like every part of America is undermined by corruption, people trying to make money off of shit. And it's just, I always think about this. I always think about what thing in America is going well. Schools, colleges are fucked. I mean, your educational system is run on football. You think crypto's bad? Your educational system is running on football. Like, it's just what the cops, our military. What is the thing that's going well? Can you name one thing?
For-profit prisons are going great.
Like,
it's
the way our agriculture system is just a fucking disaster. Like, water is now being purchased by what is the thing that's going well? Yeah. I always ask people this, and no one gives me an answer. Name a big thing that a society is built on that's going well in America, that's constructed well. It's a trip when you get into it. Oh, someone wrote porn is going well. That's right.
Porn is going very well. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
It's really crazy when you start to think about it that way. It's quite the brain fuck.
No, it is. It's like when I was in Russia, they were like, the quality of life in Russia has gotten better in the last 20 years. And it's largely due to Putin. Now there's plenty of stuff to criticize Putin on, but they're like, from the mid 90s, when it was chaos, when Yeltsin, who was an alcoholic that was propped up by the West, was in there, and the Soviet Union collapsed. It was nuts. The Russian mafia it was mayhem. There's people ODing in the streets. It was mayhem. Everybody's life is better. Can anyone in the West say that? Can we say that? Has our lives gotten better in the last 20 years? Not mine personally. I mean, this YouTube thing's cool. I mean, there's some cool things I've done. Oh, I've surfed, I've traveled, but I lost my home. There went my retirement. I have shitty healthcare. I mean, nothing's better. I can't point to anything and go, oh, it's a lot better. I mean, the cost of living is higher. We haven't fixed any major problems. We haven't reversed climate change. There's no big nothing. It's just like the homeless problem is worse in LA from when I moved there in 1995. Everything's worse. And it was all worse before COVID.
Yeah.
Like
now it's 10 times worse after COVID.
10 times worse. So it's like,
there's just tons of our life expectation has gone down a year for white people. It's like 2 years for Black people and Latinx people. Like
infant mortality rates have gone up. We're like we have the worst infant mortality rates of any industrialized nation. Yeah. We have third world conditions in America, and we have, again, before COVID.
Yeah. I mean, before COVID, UN inspectors came through and were like, oh, holy shit, this is worse than any third world country in the fucking world. Like, that was before.
Yes, before. And now it's worse. So where can people go listen to the dollop?
We are doing a live dollop on Thursday night. If you want to, we do a live one every couple of months, and you can only see it live. So it's buy a ticket. It's a live show, and I think it's up for 48 hours after, and then poof, you can never hear it again or see it again.
Nice.
And we're trying to do visuals and stuff. So that's the main thing. I'm also on Instagram. I don't really go on Twitter anymore because I can't handle the fighting that's happening. It's hard to watch. That's about it. I'm not really active on any social media. I am considering, tell me if you think this is a good idea, that guy Greg, who is the school board member. I'm considering starting a Twitch in which I play his videos from the school board meetings and talk about it.
Oh, dude, you have to do that. You absolutely, that is a must. That's, you got it. I don't even know how to use Twitch, but I'll sign up for that. Like, dude, you got to do that. You have to do that. That's the greatest idea I've ever heard.
Because he just goes off on these big speeches and they're so fucking dumb. They're like George W. Bush dumb. Like it's just crazy.
Dude, you have to do that. You do it. Everyone in the chat is going, do it. Play my joke, do it. Everyone in the chat's telling you to do this.
Yeah.
This is a must.
I gotta figure out how to do Twitch, but I think that would be fun. I'll probably do that.
Ask your son. He'll tell you how to do Twitch.
He probably would in a second.
Oh, well, dude. Well, thanks for coming on the show. It was great to talk to you. Of course, if you want to watch Dave and Gareth compete in the Political Vigilante Game Show, it is only available at patreon.com/Graham Elwood and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. The premium level.
So fun.
It was a blast.
It was so fun, by the way. That game show was a blast.
We just laughed our asses off, right? Like we just laughed our ass. Every week I've done 3 of them now, and we just laugh our asses off. It's so much fun.
You should watch them. They're really great.
I'm hoping when things open up, I'm going to make that into a real TV show on a sound stage with an audience and just do it.
Yes, it's great. Yeah. That's good.
I'm going to just do it. Like, I don't care if I got to finance it myself. I'll use all my fucking crypto money to do it. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm going to just do it because it's just too fun.
What a fucking perfect, what a perfect crypto guy. He makes a bunch of money off crypto and then blows it on a fucking game show. That is just so a modern day idiot.
What a moron. Like, why don't you just buy fucking gold plated slippers? Like, what an idiot. It's like buy a live tiger. Like, what are you doing? Just blow it on a game show. Oh my God, that'd be great. If it's just this fucking $100 million money pit. I don't know. We needed more buzzers. Or just like, I just shit it away. God, that'd be awesome. I can't wait to do that. Well, all right, dude. Thanks for taking time to come on the show, and we'll see you soon.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right, buddy.
I would say good times, but this was just depressing.
Yeah, well, pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty much a bummer. Thanks for bumming everybody out. Really appreciate you coming on the show. And, you know, everybody check out the dollop on Thursday, I guess. All right, dude.
All right. See ya.
We'll see you later. Bye. Dave Anthony, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? Was a lot of fun. That's always great having Dave on the show. So hit the like button, like, share, subscribe. We've got 327 likes. We had over 400 people watching. Let's get the likes up to 400, everybody. I will go answer all of your and if you've never listened to the Dollop, it's a blast. It's a very fun show. It's a historical thing. Dave finds some crazy thing in history, and Gareth shows up not knowing it at all, and then they just riff about it. It's very funny. Oh my God, this is a good smoothie. Oh, it was such a good smoothie. All right. Great dialogue. I want to be a contestant. Yes. Big Baby Zubas. What's up, man? Good to see you in the chat. Good to see Cat B and everybody over here. Harry C. Smith, Chimchurri. I'm going to read everything over at Rockfin. So if you want me to answer your question, go to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood and throw down a tip. Richard Talk. What's up, Richard? Shave your knuckles for justice. Hi, Graham. Shave your knuckles for justice. Awesome show. Thanks for the truth, brother. And keep punching up. Boom. You got it. Chimchari, give hold on, I always get the auto scroll thing. I turn that on. Give half of this to Smartany, Dave Anthony. I ain't giving that to Dave. I ain't giving shit to him. No, thank you. I appreciate that. Ardo Diablo, good chat. Boom. Thank you so much. Shave your knuckles for justice. Lynn B, what's up, Lynn? You're making Gotham great again. It's sad how Dr. Fauci and the entire CDC has become so politicized under Trump and Biden. I know. That's this dumb two-party system. We can't even just have like, oh, let's just find the science on this COVID and figure out what's the best plan. It's politicized, and these two parties just fight with each other, and in the end, Americans die. It's so dumb. Oh my God. So good. Lucky Burrito A&M, boom. Shave your knuckles for justice. My daughter is in a hybrid high school junior college. Teacher was pressuring her to go in person once the school opened, 100% asking if we were going to get the vaccine. She has been excelling at homeschooling. They are not taking it seriously. You have to trust that everyone you are in contact with is under the same level of caution, protection you are. All ferrets in hats are watching you. I love that a ferret in a hat watches this show. I think this is the only YouTube show, this obviously government secrets, where that is watched by a ferret in a hat. Or the show most watched by ferrets in hats. I have the largest ferret in hat audience. Curtis Krause, what's up, Curtis? Shave your knuckles for justice. Thank you for supporting the show. Shelly Pickering, hello, ba-boom. Shelly Pickering, hi, Graham. I follow your shows with my partner and appreciate all you do getting the truth out. In your opinion, is there a slight difference between Trump and Biden, and which one would be worse? Ugh. Well, like Dave and I were talking about, Trump completely mishandled COVID. Biden is handling it better, which was a pretty low bar that Trump set. They both have rape allegations against them. They both bombed countries. They both have bailed out Wall Street. They both have said and done racist things, passed racist policy, 94 Crime Act. Both have ties to Epstein. Trump's are a little stronger than Biden's. Both have creepy, corrupt kids. Hunter Biden seems to be worse than maybe some of Trump's kids. I guess that's not a big difference. Both didn't give us Medicare for all. Both are against a Green New Deal, in favor of fracking. Both bombed Syria and all these other countries in the Middle East. It's not that big of a difference, right? Ed Hubble. Sorry. Anonymous, please. Sorry. Tony DeMeo. Did you ask Justin Jackson how it felt when he outsmarted Ryan Grimm? I forgot to. It was so great when Ryan Grimm was trying to explain football strategy to a guy that plays in the NFL. That was fantastic just to watch in real time. I was hoping Ryan Grimm was going to give Justin Jackson like workout tips. Here's how you do push-ups, Justin. So great. Tony DeMeo, and then when you have Dave on, he is sounding like George Carlin, and I love it. Yeah, it's great. I've known Dave for a long time, and it's great since I've been doing this show of having him on, semi-regularly to talk politics, because that's all he and I talk about when we just talk on the phone or see each other, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, Truth Addict, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Bill Nye, the highest guy. What's up, Bill? Thank you for supporting the show. Very appreciate it. When comedians consistently tell more truth than journalists and politicians, you know your society is a joke. Oh, that's very sad but true. Bill Nye, the science guy, the highest guy. Sorry. Da Jr. does cocaine. Hunter does crack. Clearly, the latter is a man of the people. This is way more thought than the question deserves. Thank you. Hey, keep the municipal infrastructure talk to government secrets. Nice. Harry C. Smith, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. The last year of remote schooling would have been the perfect opportunity to set up a mega fast municipal broadband all over the world. Yep, I know. I'll have to make a smoothie for the next live show. Right on. Can we get a push-up walk along? Lucky Burrito A&M, what's up? Neville the Devil says he loves your show the best. Thank you, Neville. Along with Sammy and Bonkers, pictures will be posted to your Twitter to look out for that. Thanks for all you do. All you have. That's the name of all your ferrets. Neville likes the show the most. Well, sounds like Neville's the smartest one. I don't want to cause a ferret fight in your home, but hit the like button, especially if you're watching on Rockfin and the YouTube. We're at 356 likes. Let's get that up to 400, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get that up to 400, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get that up to 400. Biden looks in a mirror without knowing who he is. After the show, since it's St. Patrick's Day, it's time to drink. Oh, it's St. Patty's Day, like in Australia, I guess. It's not. Well, I guess it is on the East Coast. Yep, Joe Biden said nothing would fundamentally change. Bluebell 51, what's up? Good to see you in the chat. Homeschool is awesome if you don't get a hyper Christian curriculum. It's hard to avoid, but it can be done. Oh, shit. Graham needs a boba straw. I know. I probably need a bigger straw. Dave and Gareth were riffing like comedy Jedis in the game show. It was so fun, man. It was so fun. I don't have guests for this Thursday yet, but I will. I'm going to get them lined up. It's just fun. Just last week with Karen was fun, and Rosie Tran. Graham is our brother, bro. Thank you, my friend. It's a sobering show, but you all y'all make me laugh. Good. I already drank my whiskey. A whiskey and a t-shirt. All right, folks. Been talking for almost 2.5 hours. Man, it's late. I'm going to sing a song and get on out of here. That was a fun show. Great interviews yesterday with Justin and then talking to Dave today. And I'll cut the Dave one up probably into 2 segments. Here's what I usually do. I'll pull 2 segments out, drop them tomorrow, and then the day after that, drop them. Everything gets dropped on Rockfin. I spread it. I don't drop everything on YouTube. If I do, it's even if it's something that comes on Rockfin, YouTube will get it later now. I'm putting all my content on Rockfin, some of it on YouTube, because YouTube is sticking it to me. So why would I give them more content to profit off of? I'm just dropping a clip a day to really promote people to come to Rockfin and Patreon. That's what I got to do. Do you feel cheated not winning an Emmy? I don't need their prizes, man. Your audience, you audience people, you're my Emmy. You're my sweet little gold trophy. All of you, your precious little angels. I just want to put you into a butterscotch bowl and slime you on an apple and eat you. That sounded really weird and creepy. Jesus, what a weirdo. Get the Kaisers. I don't know the Kaisers. What's wrong with YouTube? Yeah. So usually what I do is I'll take Dave's interview, I'll cut it up. There's basically two things we talked about, two segments. So I'll drop each one of those segments individually, and then I'll drop the full interview. But if you are a Patreon, if you go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood at the $10 level, you can watch this whole live stream tonight as soon as I wrap. Or if you're a Rockfin premium member, again, go to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. It's $10 a month. You get all my premium content. The Graham Goes to Russia documentary, which is also on Patreon. You get the game show. You get all the fun stuff. But then I put the whole live stream for premium members, so you can check that out. Kaiser Soze. Max Kaiser. Max Kaiser? Yeah. Yeah, Max Kaiser and his wife. Yeah. They're great. The Kaiser Report. I watched them. I saw that they were on, Jimmy. I didn't get to actually see the show, but I saw that he was going to have them on. And Thursday night, this Thursday actually is at 7:30 p.m. We're going to do the Political Vigilante game show, so check that out. Usually it starts at 7. We're going to do some at 7:30. There might be some that start at 6 because we're going to have some East Coast guests on. So it's later for them if we start at 7. So we're going to, we might do 6 o'clock when we have Lee and Eleanor on, and when we have Jordan and Jen on, we might do that later. So, great show. Glad you liked it, Norv. Thank you. Named my business after two ferrets, Lucky and Burrito. A group of ferrets is called the business. Lucky and Burrito have gone over the Rainbow Bridge. It's fantastic. Our resident ferret expert. Every show needs a ferret expert. I love the game show. All right. And if you sign up for this, the Political Vigilante or Graham Elwood newsletter, go to grahamelwood.com and sign up for the newsletter. As soon as you do, you get a smoothie recipe. And then I send out a newsletter like once a month. And we'll be sending one out probably in the next week or so to announce the Political Vigilante online merch store. Oh, snap. So I'm taking this PV logo that's in the corner right there, and it's being put on several shirts, women's shirts, regular shirts, mugs, and then the Make Gotham Great Again thing that comes up when I do a segment. That's going to be on some little stuff. That's going to be announced in the new newsletter. Oh, sign up. Go to grahamelwood.com, sign up, get a free smoothie recipe. And so now that the store is going to be out there periodically in the newsletter, another reason to announce, and when I start doing tour dates again, that'll be in the newsletter. Any new thing that we got going on. But I will periodically put little coupon codes in the newsletter for discounts on the merch, 10% off, little cool stuff like that. So just go to, can I get a Vegan Guns t-shirt? I haven't done the artwork yet, or haven't had that made yet for Vegan Guns t-shirt, but that will. And when that happens, I will announce it, and it will come into your life and bring you strength and joy. Jen is still recovering. Yeah, we might hope. We'll see whenever they're going to be on. Okay. Risky hand a t-shirt. Boom, 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 boom. That sucks that Jen's still sick. She's got the long haul stuff. That sucks. Beep, burp, beep, 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 beep. Here. What do I want to sing? Mr. Tambourine Man. I'm going to sing it as William Shatner. The day brings. And then I want you to go online and listen to the actual version of William Shatner singing it. It's fucking fantastic.
As you type.
Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. I'm not sleepy and there is no place I'm going to. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. In the jingle jangle morning, I'll come following you. Take me on a trip inside your magic swirling ship. All my senses have been stripped, and my hands can't feel the grip, and my toes too numb to step. Wait only for my boot heels to be wandering. I'm ready to go anywhere. I'm ready for to fade onto my own parade. Cast your dancing spell my way. I promise to go under it. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. I'm not sleepy and there is no place I'm going to. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. In the jingle jangle morning, I'll come following you.
Listen to Shatner singing that song. He recorded that on his album.
It's time to switch.
William Shatner's Transformed Man.
Right now,
it's one of the greatest albums ever made.
Keep your number
by any living human being. Check that out.
Hey, Mr. Cat.
Political Vigilante Game Show. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do live tomorrow. I'm volunteering for a beach cleanup with the Surfrider Foundation, something you should all get involved with. I'm a disaster volunteer for the American Red Cross, and there was some flooding I had to, I was the shelter for that. And I also volunteer at the local food bank. Although my back got a little tweaked a couple months ago, so I haven't been there in a little while, but volunteer at my local food bank, and then the Surfrider Foundation. I'm doing that tomorrow. Beach cleanup. So probably won't go live tomorrow, but we'll do the game show Thursday. And I'm not sure Friday. It'll depend on Lee's schedule if we do government secrets either Friday or Monday. But
man. Hey, man.
So check that out. Populist Gen Xer channel. What's up, Graham? Spreading the mayhem. You got it. Have we done an episode on Operation Bloodstone? Yes, we have. Hit the like button. 375 likes. Let's get that up to 400. Come on, let's do it. 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 Hit that like button, even if you're on the Rockfin. So that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Support what we do. Yes, I did see the world record breaking surf record. It was nuts, but big waves this winter, and Maui and the North Shore of Oahu and Kauai, and that's big waves this winter. A lot of people went off. I'm 369 Rockfin. All right, I gotta go. I'm very hungry. Thank you so much for supporting the show, listening to what we do. There's great ways to support what we're doing. Like, share, subscribe, all that. You can go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood, rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. We've been demonetized by YouTube for a month and a half now, and it's probably going to keep going. So we really need your support. I'm totally viewer funded. I don't get any ad dollars at all. And then you can also support what I do on Venmo and PayPal and at grahamelwood.com. And if money's tight, don't worry about it. Just like, share, subscribe, and do all that stuff. Sign up for the newsletter. Get a free smoothie recipe. Come on. Light and love. Look into Operation High Jump. You won't believe it if you learn about it for yourself. Done, Harry C. Smith. Remember, follow the money, connect the dots. That's where you find the truth. And when you do that, you'll realize that,
hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, I'll come following you.